Welcome back to a follow-up video to my beginner's guide of Alchemist Simulator. In that first video I talked through the basic game mechanics, and I thought it'd be good to follow that up with a real-time playthrough. So we have our quests here on the letterbox. We can accept up to 3 of those a day, and each working day is going to be 7.5 minutes long. And we can see here that we got different rewards. So we have got the same sort of coins. Well, we'll go for the top one because that is the most rewarding. So this is going to tell us a little bit of a backstory of what we need to do. We scroll right the way down to the bottom and you'll see that the scroll is signed for us to accept that contract. Top tip there is remember to press X and not triangle or you won't accept the contract. We can press R1 at any time to remember what it is we need to harvest, and I haven't actually done this potion before, and it looks like we need 3 different things there. What I'll do for the purposes of this video, just so that I can talk through step by step and show you, is a potion that I am already familiar with, so that I can then sell it to our good friend the rat here. And so we can do that by going to the almanac here, and we are currently on upgrades. So if we go to recipes, then these are our known recipes, and there's different aspects that we need to get. So strength is one that I've already made, so I know what I need in order to be able to do that, so that I can talk through the game's mechanics and not kind of fumble my way through. So we need 2 things. We need gravity, which is the apples there, and I think motion, which is the blue dot. And so to know what we need in order to get those, we can go to our ingredients, and what you'll see is that to get motion we need to buy a polar fish. It's that middle icon. And then for gravity we can get that from a vine there. So if we go over to our friend the rat, then we can buy those ingredients. You can see there, although the icon as you move around is not very clear on the screen, when you click buy it will show the quantity of the shop reducing and one going into your inventory. Now there's no confirm button after that, so as soon as you press buy you are actually buying it, so it's worth just taking a little bit of extra care. So we're going to buy ourselves a polar fish and a vine, like so. Our coins have reduced in the bottom there, and we can go over here and press triangle for what we've just purchased to be delivered. Our workshop is going to have 3 main areas. We have the cutting boards, we have the mortar and pestle, and we have drying racks. In most instances, the first thing that we're going to want to do is always to cut something. So we'll place that down on the cutting planks, our ingredient, and just to remind ourselves, those are the 3 aspects that we have in the fish. We can press R1 to remind us what we need, although in this case that's the other potion that we accepted, just to cause confusion. Ignore me that I did that. So the first thing we're going to do here to make the potion that we're familiar with is we are going to need to keep the motion bit, which is the end icon. And so what we want to remove are the other aspects. So you can see there that we're going to click our knife onto hot and cold, and then that's going to leave us with the bit that we want. So what we're doing is, when we're selecting what we cut out, we're going to be taking out what we don't need there. And we're left with that. So that's half of our ingredients. We can put those in the cauldron. Top tip number 2 is don't activate the cauldron because it will start making the wrong potion. So I'm going to put that on the shelf for now, and we'll work on ingredient number 2, which is our vine. And in this instance, we got 2 different things. We got gravity, which is the apple icon, and we have the leaves, which is growth. And up here we can see that life and death is where the leaf is, and so that's the bit that we want to get rid of because we want to keep the apple, which is down in this destruction and cessation bit down at the bottom. Hopefully that makes sense. So we're going to be getting rid of life and death in this instance. And early game, it's going to keep the potions quite simple, hopefully. So we've got 2 core ingredients there. I'll just put that on the shelf for the time being whilst I explain the next steps. So you can see that there are arrows on the chart up there, and essentially the further inward it goes, the stronger the potion. So if you want to make something lighter, so if we were, in this instance, we have motion, which is 3rd row down, 1 in from the right. If we wanted to change that to chaos, so we wanted to make that stronger, then we would use the mortar and pestle. If we wanted to make it weaker and convert that into wind, then we would use the drying rack. So at the moment, there's pretty much kind of 1, maybe 2 stages to everything apart from the top line. But I understand that you can use the mortar more than once. So if you needed to go in 2 times, so if you were in disease and needed to get to the death icon, then you would use the mortar and pestle twice. Similarly, if you were at death and wanted to get to disease, then you would put it on the drying rack twice. You can only cook things once. Once something is in the mortar and pestle, obviously you can't cut it, and the drying rack as well. Once it's been dried, I don't believe you can cut it, and you shouldn't need to for the potions. Now there is a trash can here if you make a boo-boo with any of your potions, but that will cost you coins. So top tip is, if you press your options button, then you can go to the restart day option. I'm not going to do that right now because I've got the right potions, but it will do exactly as it says. It will restart the day, and that means that you get all your lovely coins back and you can go and repurchase those ingredients. That's the only downside to it, and also it means that you don't lose a working day. So when you accept contracts, you will get a number of working days before you lose a bonus, and so you want to do that. You probably saw at the bottom of the screen there, it also said that it's starting to get dark. So that means that we are coming to the end of our working day, and which is 10:30 p.m. And if we go past that at 12 o'clock, the game will automatically send us off to sleep to start a shiny new day. So hopefully we can get this brewed within the working day, and there is our pickup strength potion. Now the reason we've done this is 2 things. 1, so that I could walk through the tutorial without kind of, there we go. So we've been put to sleep, so to speak. And so it's the start of a new day. And because I wasn't familiar with the potion and I wanted to be able to go through these in clear detail, I did a potion that I already knew. And the benefit of that is that you can make as many of the potions that you're familiar with as you would like. They won't fulfill your quests. So as you can see there, the one I picked up, I've lost a working day on it essentially by making something else, but I'm not going to worry too much about that because I can sell the potion. There we go. And what that will mean is that my coins have gone up quite nicely. And in there, in the shop, we saw that there was the price in coins for each of those different ingredients. And at the bottom there, there is a recipe of the day, or a potion of the day. In this case, it's cold resistance. And should I have made that and sold it, I would have got more money. So hopefully it helps to go through in real time, as well as me having talked through, because there is a tutorial which will guide you through making your initial potion, but it can be a bit misleading in terms of that the wording on the board here doesn't always match up exactly to the board. So case in point, if you wanted to make heat or fire, then you could buy yourself a piece of coal and you'd be looking to remove destruction and cessation, or to keep it, should I say, when in fact, as we saw with the fish, it's actually hot and cold. And you know, it's not the most straightforward, but it does kind of make sense in that if you've got a fish that's got some ice in it, then heat and cold would remove the bits that you don't need. So that is Alchemist Simulator on the PS5. It's currently on a heavily discounted sale, 70% off. If you have the PlayStation Plus subscription, that reduces it even further. I understand that if you were to go through the game and do 3 potions a day just to do the core quests, then that looks like 25 working days. But as you'd expect, with a lot of these kind of cozy simulators, it's really just keeping things ticking over and not getting too stressed. And so by making potions that you can sell rather than just completing those quests, well, then you can increase your reputation and your gold. And that means that you can open up another 2 pieces of machinery, which I expect will be behind those closed doors. Upgrades wise, not masses there to go at. You can increase your shelf slots and your storage over here. I believe that you can upgrade your cutting planks and your mortar and pestle, and you have a sharpening wheel here. So as you use the cutting planks, your blade will dull and you'll need to sharpen it over there, which only takes a minute, but one of the upgrades is that the knife doesn't get blunt as quickly. Hopefully that is helpful. As well as this simulator, I have a channel with some other ones on there. So there's quite a spectrum actually. So I would put Alchemist Simulator at the light end of the simulator spectrum, and very much a cozy simulator. At the other end of that scale at the moment, I would say is Car Mechanic Simulator, and the tutorial in that is not the best, I would say. So if you are struggling, if you're looking at picking up the game and you're not too sure about it, I would really encourage looking at the beginner's guide, the hints and tips, just to get you started, because you could miss out on a really good game because of the lack of a tutorial. So that is in the format of a couple of different types of videos, and then in addition to that, I have 2 series currently running. One of them is Recycling Centre Simulator, and the other one is Hypermarket Simulator. So those are more kind of play a day. A day in game is about half an hour, which fits quite nicely into that kind of format, and we can kind of progress through the levels and see what those games have got to offer. If you do like the videos or find them helpful, then a thumbs up is very nice. It helps me know that we're starting to reach an audience. If you've got any comments that you'd like to add, I will of course be reading all of them and will respond to all of them. That could extend to any games that you would recommend I try, specifically those on the PlayStation Plus catalogue. because there's quite an extensive catalogue there, and there's lots of games that fall outside of those AAA categories that we all kind of look forward to, but are hidden gems. And last but by no means least, the subscribe button really is huge for YouTubers. It doesn't cost you anything, and it takes literally a second. That helps get videos further up the search engines, and it also means that if you do enjoy any of these videos, you'll get notified when there's a shiny new one for you. I hope to see you in future. Thanks for watching.